Hey, you guys, it's me, Kianna, coming at you today, and I'm coming at you um, talking or updating you guys on what has happened thus far as my health. I told you guys that I was not going to really share what was going on, just know that it was serious. And that was a video I did literally after I came home from the hospital, which was urgent care. Urgent care, if you're not familiar with it, is like a quicker and easier way than the emergency room. I was severely dehydrated, and my pressure had dropped to 92 over 60 or 59. So my pressure had dropped severely. Um, I was extremely weak. My legs literally felt like jello. I could not walk without having to literally stand and hope that my legs don't fall out from underneath of me. So my assumptions was possible dehydration and also my protein levels. Now, being that I try to get my protein in the best way I can, being that I cannot eat still even 5 months out, I cannot eat a lot of food. I can't even eat a normal amount of food. Like it's probably 1/4 of what you would consider a normal amount or a doctor suggested amount. So I have a hard time getting in protein, being that I can only get in a very little amount of food. And ironically, I actually have to increase my calories because I don't get enough of those in either. So, right now, even though I'm 5 months out, that's still very fresh, you guys. That's still very new. You have to consider when you have battled being overweight and lived a certain way for 37, 38 years, your body is accustomed to that. So, you know, we have to compare 5 months to 37 or 38 years. And that's when we really see that 5 months is not a long time. But so much progression has been in that 5 months for me, and it's been so fast. So my body is still trying to adjust to a new way of living, um, a new way of handling things or handling foods or handling, certain vitamin intake or lack thereof or whatever. So my body is still going through a tailspin. Um, and I just try to do the best that I can do. But sometimes your best is not good enough. The reason why I was severely dehydrated is because I can only hold a certain amount of food in my stomach. That also applies to food and drink because once you know, process the food that you're chewing, it then is turned into liquids in your stomach. Hopefully, if you chewed it well enough, of course. Um, the majority of it is liquefied. So I am faced with sometimes having to choose between eating or drinking. That's because I can't consume much. So in order to get my protein in, and because that's been my focus, I would drink a little less in order to eat. Okay. And sometimes I balance, I'll eat a little teeny bit less and then drink more. Um, and given the fact that when I say I eat a little less, I'm already eating very, very little. I'm talking about like 300 calories sometimes a day. That's way, way, way too little for anybody. And in order to drink more, sometimes I have to even go lower than that. So, given the fact that all of this was going on, um, I literally could not hardly walk a certain amount of distance, not because of weight, because the weight loss has been drastic in this 5 months. And also pre op, the weight loss I've lost before that, but because of the strength. And I knew something was wrong. I knew something was wrong. So I put it off and put it off until Daddy put his foot down and just wouldn't allow me to put it off any longer. So when I went to urgent care, that's when I discovered the severe dehydration. What they did for that for a quick fix was give me 3 bags of fluid. And usually it takes 45 minutes per bag to suck up, and I sucked up all 3 bags in 45 minutes. That's how severely dehydrated I was. So this message is also to tell you guys to make sure that you do get your fluids in, because you will wind up in a hospital. It's not a maybe, it's not an if, it's certain. Okay? And being that we are mothers, we are wives, we are daughters, who got time for that? So you're going to have to try your best to get in those liquids. Now, what I have done is I just sip on it all day long, literally. Um, I find myself, my body is like a machine now. I really don't know how people are able to go back to a traditional job and clock in and out when, their boss tells them to clock in and out. I really have much respect for you guys that after the surgery go back to that, because it literally is work when you have the surgery. Everything is work. Everything. Okay? From the time that you wake up to the time you go to sleep, you have to be strategic about everything. You have to plan everything out. You have to try to get around certain things. It's just work. It's not a normal way of living. Okay? Yes, a lot of us needed this surgery in order to live, because the risk of living at 475 pounds is far greater than the risk of having this surgery. This is not something I've made up. This is facts, and you can see millions of studies about it. So, this is something that, in order for some of us to live, and we've tried everything for 37, 38, 40 years, some of us have had to resort to having this surgery in order to live and be there for our families, be there for our kids, be there for our husbands. And that's the choice that I made. But I do want you to know it is work. It's work. Now, we're not even getting into the aspect of trying to build muscle mass, because as you're losing quickly, you're going to want to counteract that, because you're going to lose fat and you're going to lose muscle mass. So I haven't even gotten into that, and I'll probably do a later video as I get settled about that. Um, but right now I'm just trying to update you on what has happened and what's going on thus far. Besides the severe dehydration, they also found something serious, I told you guys. Well, what that thing that they found was serious was, I have I'm trying to use the word that they use, a, they labeled it as a severe liver malfunction, or dysfunction or whatever. And they said it's so bad, from what they saw on the test they did, that worst case scenario, I may need a liver transplant. And the reason why I said this is serious is because, for one, they came at me as it was serious. For two, I had all these feelings of health issues, as far as feeling sick, because I had nausea real bad. I wasn't vomiting, because there's nothing to vomit up really. Um, I couldn't stand hardly. My legs felt like jello. Um, I was extremely fatigued because of the dehydration. So you have to have the whole look at the whole big picture. And it made sense of what they were saying, because of the whole picture of everything that was going on in my body. And when I say severe fatigue, you guys, I'm talking about literally um, laying around like you're a cancer patient. Literally. Like, you know how if you've seen anybody on chemo, when they come home, that's how I was looking all day long. Um, so, given the fact that I went in there like that, and then they came at me with tests and saying, we see something or whatever, um, it made sense. Now, another reason why it's serious to have this liver dysfunction or malfunction or whatever, is because in my community, in all communities, but especially in the African American community, um, the rate of getting a liver transplant is extremely low. And if you are deemed to have a liver transplant, you need that to live. And being that it's slow, it's very serious. I'm still a young woman. I have children to still have to raise. I have a husband to also have to be there for, who's actually disabled as well. I have my mom who's disabled, as well. So I have, things to do. I still have, um, I still am on my journey, and I still have responsibilities. And this was a huge, huge blow. Now, to also catch you guys up, they actually performed all the tests, and they did the urine analysis, and they did blood and all of that kind of stuff, and they gave me the fluids. I actually didn't find out about the liver issue until the next day, because they called me on the phone, and you don't want to get a call on the phone after you've been to the hospital and had blood work done and all of that. And they told me to come in immediately. And Daddy and I rushed in there, and that's when they told us about the liver issue. Okay. Um, so they wanted to perform more tests. And as I was waiting for the test, actually, I did the video the day that I found out, which was day 2 of the hospital visit when they called me back. And that's when I gave you guys the video. Um, so it was extremely serious. And because they were saying that it looked severe, they were saying the worst case is that um, the possibility of needing a liver transplant. And I wanted to share it with you guys because I didn't know if I would be able to get right back on YouTube as far as for live videos. Now I have plenty of stored videos, and I told you guys I would still release videos, but to be on for a live video, I didn't know when that would be. And I wanted to let you guys know because you guys are like family to me, but I didn't want to reveal too much. For one, I didn't know too much, and for two, I just didn't feel comfortable revealing what the actual issue was. But I did want you guys to know it was serious because I wanted you guys to hold me up in prayer. Um, and I thank you all for doing that, because not only I received many prayers and comments, but I also received many, many, many emails and PMs. And if I haven't been able to get back to them, it's because I still am trying to build myself up physically, and also with everything else that's going on in the home, which is really great, great things. But and I haven't revealed that as well either. But it is some things going on in the home, and it's a big change and a big shift going on. Um, so that is that. Now, what I found out thus far is that, and this is really great information for you guys that have had weight loss surgery. If you've had weight loss surgery, what I found out is you may have abnormalities in your liver as well. Why? Because your liver is working overtime. So if, say, an emergency room or anybody other than your primary physician checks and sees any tests with your urine or blood, and even though they're aware of the weight loss surgery, it is going to look extremely urgent to them, because they may don't understand fully how your liver is being overextended because of the surgery. Now, it is still an abnormality in my liver, but it does happen sometimes for people that have had weight loss surgery, because your fat goes to your liver, as from what I've been told. And because I've lost so much in so little time, my liver is working overtime. And because of the dehydration, and because of sometimes the vitamin deficiencies, even though I take all my vitamins, it's just that I need to be taking some other kinds, and I'll speak on that in one moment. But my doctor did not increase, he added some additional items. He gave me some prescriptions for some vitamins. He also gave me a prescription for, one second, you guys. A heartburn treatment. He gave me that. He also gave me this for nausea and vomiting. It's called ONDANSETRON. He gave me that. He also gave me some vitamins, vitamin D, and some other kind. I think two other kinds. I'll discuss that in another video. Um, and he gave me some other medications. But anyway, and then he's also given me a treatment for my liver. So right now it is treatable. Okay, that's the great news. It is treatable. Um, but again, given the fact of all the health issues I had, how I was feeling when I actually went into urgent care, and then for them to confront me and saying that, it made sense. Because literally, you guys, like, still my legs feel a little bit like jello, but I am getting better. I'm feeling, a little bit stronger each day, but it still is, something that I needed to address. And again, it did make sense. It did make sense because it felt serious. And then for them to come at me and say, hey, this is a malfunction, and it doesn't look good, run in right now and come back to the urgent care. It really was not a good feeling at all. um, but it is treatable. As of right now, it is definitely treatable. It's just some things I need to keep my eye on. It's some things my doctor needs to keep his eye on, and it's some things that I need to also incorporate separately besides the liver. So as of right now, there is no liver transplant needed. It was a serious situation, and it can turn into a serious situation. But it was definitely um, it's definitely right now something that's treatable, so I thank God for that. I also wanted to address, I got a stupid comment. I don't have to try to get anybody to flock to my channel or my store, um, despite what, even though I've showed it, and despite people who have seen it for the longest time. I'm not stupid enough to rely on one source of my business or my income at all. In fact, I've told you guys this many times before, whether you want to believe it or not, that is not my bread and butter, my online business. Um, it's just not. I actually am more prosperous and more um, business savvy in person, to be honest with you, and in my area. So that is something that is a branch off or a side gig or side hustle. So I don't need to get on here to try to, say that I have some serious issue, and it's not true, and then to get people to come. I mean, if anything, if you think about it, and if the person was wise enough, to even think about it, they would see that. That actually would cause my sales to go down because not many people want to order and put that extra burden on you to be ordering while you're sick. So if they actually was business smart and had any kind of smarts at all, they would understand that and see that. And I find it quite ironic that every time somebody has an issue with me, my business or my husband comes up, what it actually does is it highlights insecurities within yourself. And I've told you that before, but people still draw attention to their insecurities and whatever. But I just wanted you guys to know that um, when I share things, and that's why I didn't get too in depth. When I share things, I share them with purpose. Um, I do believe, I truly, truly believe that God is birthing a testimony inside of me each and every day. And even if that testimony means that I have to endure a little more, whether that's physically, whether that's any way possible, I do believe that because I am on this platform and I do reach thousands, if not millions, I think that it is a testimony that's being birthed in me, in a process for me to go through, to show and to highlight and to draw people to understand how good God is and how his grace should be sufficient for us. Um, and I do hope that in the midst of it all, I hope that it still comes back to glorifying his name. I just pray for the strength to endure whatever his will is and whatever his journey and testimony that's been placed on my life for me is, and for me to be able to endure it. Um, and that's what I constantly pray for. Um, so I just wanted you guys to know what's going on. I thank you all for your prayers. I truly, truly thank you guys. I really, really was really weak. I really was bad off, you guys. And I just thank God that it's not what it could have been. I thank God for that. Um, I didn't give too much information because I didn't want anybody to be too upset. That's why I was vague. But I did, again, want you guys to know that this was not a game. This was something that is detrimental to not only myself and my health, but my family as well. And I just wanted you guys to, as we all share in the moment moments, I wanted it to be an in the moment moment because literally I had left the hospital hours before that. So I have to get ready to go, you guys, because we have to get ready to go to Pootie's school to pick out his uh, school portraits that we paid for, which ones we want. I'll share those with you as well. And I also have some hauls coming up of some items that I purchased a little while ago for this huge changes going on in our home. And you guys, I'm sure, will be a part of that. Whether I announce it or not, it will be obvious. I'm pretty sure. You know how we may be doing a video about something and everything else is mentioned in the video. They all looking in the background and seeing all the different changes and all that kind of stuff. So I'm pretty sure to be evident to all, whether I announce it formally or not. Sorry for this video being so long, you guys, but I did want to update you guys. So yeah, on that note, you guys, I thank you all for tuning in. I thank you all for your true and honest support. I thank you all for being here for all the right reasons, which is my channel is about uplifting and encouraging and inspiring each other. I thank you all for being here for that. I thank you all for being grown women and on your grown woman time. I thank you all for loving me as I love you. And I thank you all for allowing me to share my life and my journey and my testimony right before you. On that note, I will talk to you guys later and be blessed.